Zega awoke to a sharp hunger that she'd never known. She could smell Inigo. She could hear his heart beating. She knew he was nearby. She squinted at him in the darkness, and then all of a sudden, she could see him as though it were bright day. After catching up with Inigo, Zega remembered her encounter in the vampire cave. The screaming vampires rushing down the hallway at her, overtaking her. Inigo helped her fill in the gaps. He had dragged her to safety after the vampires had left her chewed corpse in a corner and nursed her back to health. He was shocked at first at how quickly she healed, but then he realized what Zega didn't need him to tell her. She was now one of the living dead herself and desperately needed to feed. Welcome to another episode of the Misadventures of a Skooma Addict. Today's short but sweet suggestion comes from Jivia, who says, I think Zega's a vampire now. I think so too, Jivia. That sounded great. So Zega checks her map. She knows that Helgen is a smoldering ruin. But there's a little town called Riverwood near Helgen. Zega decides that her first order of business is some skooma and some blood. And then, well, possibly seeking out the Dark Brotherhood, as she will definitely need to stay under the radar now. Very surprised at the kind of roiling debate that went on about whether or not Zega was completely dead. To be honest with you, I didn't expect as many people to advocate for her to be permanently dead as there were. There were a lot of people that were like, nope, start a new character. I'm not quite ready to do that yet, though, unfortunately. For those folks, I know, mass dislike train incoming. I'm not quite ready to do that yet. I'd like to see where Zega's story goes, and I think her being a vampire just adds a layer. So we're going to run to Riverwood and see if there are any country bumpkins that we can feed on in the middle of the night. Also gives us the opportunity in a non-RP sort of way to visit a place that I was very, very close to at the beginning of the game, and then kind of fell away from, which is up and over the hill here. These standing stones, which will allow us to gain experience in our chosen field a lot quicker, which should increase our progression. I think you're supposed to find these pretty early on in the game. We've been playing without them since the beginning of the game. So it'll be interesting now to see how much faster we can level up. You're given 3 choices here. The Guardian Stones. There's the Thief Stone, the Mage Stone, and the Warrior Stone. We're going to go ahead and take the Thief Stone. Learn all stealth skills 20% faster. We'll take it. And now on to Riverwood. So yeah, as I was saying, quite a few of you wanted Zega dead. It was almost like I'm reading the comments and I'm looking at the likes, the thumbs up, the thumbs down, and it's almost a 50-50 split. So hopefully this is a satisfactory middle ground for those of you that were howling for Zega's blood. Now she's just got one more addiction to deal with. Her skooma addiction, which she's going to take care of right now, by the way. There's some leaf skooma. And her now need to keep herself fed on blood. So, very interesting. I also realized that I've left Inigo back at that shack, but that's fine because we're going to be fast traveling back that way soon. Zega, upon reaching Riverwood, is now starving. Absolutely starving. Sven and Hilda's house. She decides to pick the lock on the first house she sees. She needs to feed immediately. Now the question is, Sven or Hilda? Sven or Hilda? Zega decides Hilda. And feeds for the first time as a vampire. Oh, Inigo is here. Good. Having fed, Zega has no more need for Riverwood and decides instead that she's going to travel to Falkreath. And in hopes of finding the Dark Brotherhood sanctuary that she was told is near there. As she travels along, day begins to break, and her skin sizzles in the sunlight. Zega realizes that she will have to move under cover of darkness whenever possible from now on. She marks the location of the Dark Brotherhood sanctuary on her map and decides to double time it to get there quickly. So, our vampirism has given us a few strengths and also some weaknesses that we can take a look at here. As you can see here, our skooma addiction. We have Night Stalker's footsteps. Vampires are 25% harder to detect when sneaking. That's pretty awesome. We also have 100% resistance to disease. This is our Dunmer resistance to fire, but we have a 20% weakness to fire because of our vampirism. We also have a weakness to sunlight. Health, magicka, and stamina do not recover while in sunlight and are reduced by 15 points. So this really makes it to where Zega really, on the outside, can't really operate during the daytime. She can travel during the daytime, but if she gets into a fight during the daytime, she's more than likely not going to make it out of that fight. Also, we have Champion of the Night, which is another vampirism perk. Illusion spells cast by a vampire are 25% more powerful. So, you know, that works out well for us, considering how heavily we've invested in illusion magic. As Zega approaches the place marked on her map and sees the door, a chill runs through her veins. She approaches the door. She remembers the words that the Dark Brotherhood emissary had told her to say. Silence, my brother. She enters the sanctuary. She immediately feels better being out of the sunlight.
Ah, at last. I hope you found the place all right.
So, what happens now?
Well, what happens now is you start your new life in the Dark Brotherhood. You're part of the family, after all. This, as you can see, is our sanctuary. You won't find a safer place in all of Skyrim. So get comfortable.
Remain silent here.
Yes, the silence suits you. Gives you an air of mystery. Now, down to business. I'm arranging a job for you. But in the meantime, go talk to Nazir. He may have some smaller contracts to tide you over. Soon, the Night Mother will arrive. And things around here are sure to get even more interesting. Ah, but one last thing. A welcome home present. The armor of the Dark Brotherhood. May it serve you well in all your endeavors. Be sure and introduce yourself to your new family members. They're all very eager to meet you.
So Zega figures when in Rome and immediately decides to put on the new shrouded armor that she was given. The shrouded cowl is especially of interest to her, as it causes bows to do 20% more damage and conceals her identity when worn, so... Did I just accidentally drink a skooma? Maybe I did. Zega likes the way the new armor fits. It allows her to move silently and with grace. She decides to move deeper.
I'm afraid I don't have a primary contract for you yet.
Again. To the part where he tries to buy you some candy.
Okay, wait. Here we go. Oh, you're such a pretty little girl. Would the sweetie like a sweetie? Oh yes, how about some chocolate? Oh yes, please, kind sir. My mama and papa left me all alone, and I'm so very hungry. I know a shortcut to the candy shop, through this alley. Oh yeah, very good, very good. Mine is dark down here. Oh, but you're so beautiful, such a lovely smile. Your teeth! No!
No, Babette, but you are so wicked.
What about you, Festus? How did that last contract turn out?
Oh, yes. Please, old man. Regale us with your tales of wizardry.
Ah, the young and stupid. Always mocking the experienced and brilliant. My contract went very well, I'll have you know. Tried a new spell. Little something I've been working on in my spare time. Came this close to turning that priest inside out. Damned messy.
And what of your latest, Arnbjorn? Something about a Khajiit. Merchant, was it?
Oh, a big doggy chasing a little kitty. How adorable.
I am not adorable. It was not funny, and he wasn't a merchant. He was a Khajiit monk, a master of the Whispering Fang style. But now he's dead. I have a new loincloth.
Zega recognizes another
Yes,
creature of the
yes,
night
you're
and
the new-
decides
There
to
you
talk to
are.
Babette.
Astrid's told me all about you. Heard she pulled the old choose your victim gag with
Oh,
you.
you mean in that manor house during
I
the
love that
thunderstorm? What can I say? It happened just like you heard.
It's nice to meet you, Babette.
You're going to love it here. We have a lot of fun, and we look out for each other, just like any family.
Does your wickedness or your skill know no bounds?
So Babette is
When I
a
first received the
an
blessing of
alchemy
the wolf,
trainer?
My creator gave me a valuable piece of
Stay
advice.
safe.
Arnbjorn, he said, never lose. And I never do.
talk to Arnbjorn here. But first,
Come now. What everybody else says, it can't possibly be true.
You must be talking about the caravan job.
another one of
But
those
really,
words.
A horker, some twine, 3 wood elves, and a hatchet? Points for creativity, if nothing else.
When I become wolf, I am treachery incarnate. And then, there is no one who can stand between the hunter and his prey. Well, it's raw meat. Oh, my beautiful wife has told me all about you.
It's nice to meet you, Arnbjorn.
I'll give you a week before you end up dead in a ditch.
Nice guy.
Kill well and often.
Was told to speak to Nazir.
So you're the newest member of our dwindling, dysfunctional little family. I've heard quite a bit about you.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Save the niceties for now. I have no intention of getting invested in someone who may be dead tomorrow. If you're still breathing in a few weeks, I'm sure we'll be the best of friends.
In and out of Vardenfell in less than
Astrid said you'd have some work for me.
By 6, you slew
Did she now? Well, as it turns out, there are a few lingering contracts we haven't had the chance to complete just yet. And more, dribbling in from time to time. I'll assign them to you as they become available, to be completed at your leisure.
Sounds simple enough.
It is. These aren't particularly glamorous assassinations, I'll be honest. Don't pay much either. But they'll keep you busy. Just do them as you're able. There's no real time limit. The targets aren't going anywhere. You can turn each one in as it's completed, or wait and turn in the whole group when all the targets have been eliminated. Whichever works for you.
veteran contract. Yes, you heard correctly. In and out of
I'm ready for the first set of contracts.
Well then, let's get started. I've got 3 available right now. Your targets are the beggar Narfi, an ex-miller named Enodius Papias, and Baytil, a mine boss. When you've completed all those, we'll see if I might have some more. Good luck, and try not to get yourself killed.
Zega remarks on the fact that they seem to be all business here. I mean, there was a little levity, sure,
I'm
but
afraid I don't have a primary contract for you yet.
the Night Mother's truth. So, I suppose the question is, what does Zega do now? A vampire, an assassin, a thief, a skooma addict? That I leave up to you. Until next time, peace.